Long ago, in a galaxy far, far away, they made a controversial Star Wars movie, and we're talking about it.
It's a Star Wars episode.
What are you going to do if I replace the intro song with that? What are you going to do?
Dude, I am okay with it. Welcome to full-time Star Wars fans. No? Okay. Full-time movie fans. It's us. It's Jarvis and Michael, your hosts.
Oh yeah, we didn't say our names last time.
No, we didn't say our names last time. So if that was the first time they saw it, if you just came from the Crazy Rich Asians video, yeah, I'm Jarvis and this is Michael. Welcome back, or if you're here for the first time, welcome. As full-time movie fans, it's super just casual reviews, I would say. Just super casual.
Yeah, we don't prepare anything in advance. We watch the movie.
I mean, sometimes, yeah.
We'll watch a movie.
Yeah, we'll watch a movie.
Sometimes.
Yeah. Sometimes not even that.
Sometimes I can't bother myself enough.
Yeah. So, dude, I didn't even open this. Sorry. We're doing another Star Wars episode. This is our second Star Wars episode.
Yeah.
And we are doing this because one of the worst movies I've ever seen in my life is The Rise of Skywalker,
Did you also watch the Emoji Movie recently?
And I did watch the Emoji Movie recently, and I would rather watch that again than The Rise of Skywalker.
Which is a crazy thing to say, but not like that far off, you know?
Yeah, but here's the thing that bothers me the most is that as someone who's rarely wrong, I hate that people hate on The Last Jedi when it's the best of the three movies. And that's not saying much because when you look at it as a whole, it's pretty mid. And even I can say that The Last Jedi maybe isn't, like, it's not one of the best movies I've ever seen. Mm-hmm. But I would say when you compare them with The Force Awakens and you compare it with The Rise of Skywalker, I find it hard to believe anybody would say that the Last Jedi is the worst, but that's what's out there and that's what people believe. And that's just insane to me.
Yeah, I know a couple of the reasons why people don't like that one. My close friend Hunter, who is also a movie fanatic, full-time movie fan, and like a real life full-time movie fan, also loves The Last Jedi.
There you have it.
Loves
Proof that it's the best of it because
it's the best of the three for at least.
I mean,
at least it's the best.
And even
of the
if
three.
you don't like some of the things that happen, which I get, like I get the criticisms.
Yeah.
But like, if you look at it from objectively speaking, it has the things that a good movie should have. It literally like has the things a good movie. It has character development. It has like it subverts expectations, which a lot of people don't like. I guess you just want to be boring and know what's going to happen in the movie. Like I love that it subverts expectations. It gives a character that you thought whose arc was done more chances to grow and change, which is Luke. And it gives a chance for new characters to grow, which is Finn. You know what I mean? And so and even Rey. So
when I saw The Force Awakens, I said that I really liked it because it felt like it was putting the war back into Star Wars. Because it was brutal. It was very like there. Finn being a stormtrooper that like leaves because he regains his own consciousness.
That's such a cool perspective.
It's crazy and so fun and so cool. And The Last Jedi just slowed everything down. Yeah. Like by a million miles.
Yeah.
And in like a good way, I think.
Yeah.
And I'm going to sidetrack just for a moment. I don't think of myself that much of a Star Wars fan. I'll be real. I did see episode 3 when it was the first weekend it was in theaters with my dad back in the early 2000s, which was my first Star Wars movie. Which is now looking at that's a crazy first Star Wars movie, especially for like I think I was like 8, so that was pretty cool for me. But I'm not like, I know some big Star Wars fans, and I'm not one of them. I am super excited and I don't think I've told you about this yet, so you can get excited too, because I can bring you things. Is my wife and I are going on our honeymoon to Disney in August, and we are spending an entire day at awesome. Galaxy's Edge.
You have to get a lightsaber.
Absolutely.
Yeah, you have to build your own
absolutely.
lightsaber.
And a droid.
Yeah. Yes, absolutely.
Those are the two minimums.
I've never been to Disney. As I stated in the Crazy Rich Asians episode, I'm very poor. I work for a multi-billion-dollar company, but I'm living paycheck to paycheck. So
yeah. I mean, you just said the same thing like every other American.
Yeah,
is doing too.
This is America.
Me, though. Not me. I broke my corporate chains, and I'm suffering every day for it.
Yeah, well,
I wouldn't go back. Just to be clear,
suffering.
I would not. Yeah, I would not go back.
You're just changing the type of suffering you got.
Exactly. It's personal suffering now, not suffering dictated by somebody else.
Speaking of suffering, watching the Jedi was not.
The Last Jedi is not suffering, and I was actually I saw all three of the new trilogy in theaters.
Yeah,
all three of them, and I really firmly remember liking this one the most.
Yeah, and well, here's the thing.
I was also confused walking out of it because I was like, because we'll get to it because I have my own opinions about certain things that I have assumptions about, and I'm going to stick to those assumptions because I haven't been proven otherwise yet. And it's been like, what, 10 years?
Something like that. Yeah. So here's the thing about me. I have been a Star Wars fan. I'm a little bit older than you. And I said a little bit to help with my the fact that I'm aging.
Yeah, a little bit.
I feel at an accelerated rate.
If you and I were dating, people would give us looks.
Yeah, they'd be like, "Whoa, he must be rich or super funny." But
talking about me, not Jarvis.
Yeah. But I would call myself a Star Wars fan. Watching the original 4, 5, and 6. And then watching 1, 2, and 3 in theaters when they came out. Just so excited that there was another Star Wars movies coming out. It was all very good in those moments, but as you go on and you look at the first 3 episodes, 1, 2, and 3, you really start to see like, oh, this wasn't really that good.
No.
But
people hated the prequels for a long time. Yes,
but that being said,
very long time.
I will say that this last trilogy, which was basically a money grab for Disney. They just wanted to make money off their new shiny IP that they just bought off of George Lucas without planning it through properly. And I hope they've learned from their mistakes. I don't think they have.
Yeah, they got J.J. Abrams, the Star Trek guy, to do it. J.J. Abrams of Lost fame.
Their biggest mistake, I think.
Shutter Island fame.
Yeah, and
every weird movie that doesn't really explain itself. I love J.J. Abrams. Don't get me wrong.
I don't.
But his directing style is, he calls it the mystery box.
Yeah.
Have you heard about it?
No.
So the mystery box style of directing. It's
still a mystery to me.
Yeah, that's kind of the problem with it. Is that he says that what you do is you present the audience with a question.
Yeah.
And then as you answer that question, you present them with another question.
Yeah.
And then you answer that question and then put in another question. That way you continue to bring them in further and further into the story.
I feel like you just threw in the towel on even that in The Rise of Skywalker, which...
yeah. There's no excuse for that one.
There's no mystery. There's just placating.
Emperor Palpatine's back. Isn't that wacky?
For some reason. That's what I hear.
For some
reason, Palpatine is back.
Yeah.
But anyways...
what a wacky turn of events.
Yeah, there's nothing...
The dead speak.
Yeah, there's nothing...
That's the wording.
Yeah. There's nothing that made the episodes 1, 2, and 3 look better than 7, 8, and 9.
Yeah.
It's one of those things where in retrospect you're like, actually it makes the first 3 look much better.
Yeah, and the first 3 had some crazy lines like, I hate sand, it's coarse and rough. It gets everywhere.
Yeah. So, and it had Jar Jar Binks.
And I hate you! Which is also, a classic line. And everything Jar Jar Binks.
Yeah, everything Jar Jar.
Which should not exist.
Yeah, do your Jar Jar Binks impression. For the full-time movie fans.
Misa gonna kill myself.
If I have to watch Rise of Skywalker again. No, but so The Last Jedi. So this was not J.J. Abrams. J.J. Abrams did The Force Awakens and The Rise of Skywalker.
Rian Johnson.
This is Rian Johnson, who has done other great movies such as. He has.
This is where Hunter would come in handy.
No, he literally did the Glass Onion and the one before that. What was it? What's the name of it? Of course, we blank. It makes us look like idiots.
Yeah, I'm gonna say that I'm blanking and I just don't know any. Knives Out,
Looper,
which Glass Onion,
fantastic. The Glass Onion,
American
was great.
Fiction, which is kind of crazy. He's an executive producer on that one.
Mm-hmm.
Where's his directing credits?
He's done a lot. Like
Breaking Bad.
Oh yeah.
That's kind of crazy. I didn't know that.
Yeah. Yep, he's done that.
He's also done a documentary on a folk punk band, which is kind of neat. I listened to them, called the Mountain Goats.
Oh.
Yeah. So some cool stuff.
Yeah. So but I think that he's more proven himself as he can create a good story and a good movie. Like Knives Out and The Glass Onion, I love those movies. I think they're so good.
I haven't seen either of them.
I think they're pretty good.
I am not a Rian Johnson fanatic.
I'm not a fanatic, but I think that when I look at his works compared to JJ's, I think I'm more impressed with Ryan's work.
I think I agree with you on that
one. So
but JJ has more spectacle behind him, which is why I think Disney went with JJ for Star Wars, because he did Star Trek. He's done Cloverfield.
Yeah.
He's done other like big, massive blockbuster titles, and so they went with him for the executive producing.
Yeah, about that.
Which I'm not going to say was a mistake. It's just a massive mistake.
Yeah, I want to talk about some of the things some of the common things that people hate. Because to be honest with you, I have zero issues with rewatching The Last Jedi. If someone were to come up to me and say, "Hey, let's watch The Last Jedi," I'd be like, "Yeah, for sure."
I do have one massive issue that I will get to. I love keeping you guys on the edge of your seats when it comes to me, and I like talking about it. So
that's his mystery box.
That's my mystery box
approach.
I like this movie. I have one massive problem with it. One glaring issue.
Well, before we get to it, I want to say my first impression of the movie was, I think, like a lot of people's, it was kind of like, huh? Like when Snoke died, it was very like...
Spoilers.
Yeah, Snoke died, sorry.
Spoiler alert.
Half. By Kylo Ren. His...
Oh my god, it's Apprentice.
Apprentice. Yeah, they don't call him Padawans. That's the Jedi thing. So, of course, I was like, oh, so we don't get to know more about this guy. That's the end of his story. So
whatever.
I was like, okay.
And JJ got mad because Snoke was supposed to be the big bad guy.
Yeah, and I like the fact that he was upset about that. But
which is why he brought back Emperor Palpatine.
But he still could have done something with
it. People.
Dude. Oh my gosh, bro. So he still could have done something with Snoke. Like, he said that, like, in his Rise of Skywalker, Palpatine made Snoke as a clone. Like, right? Snoke was just cloned.
Come on.
But here's the thing. Why not that Snoke is just like, hey, that was just one of his clones and not his robot. Like, I don't know. Even that's better than Palpatine. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I would have been okay with that. So he still could have done something like, hey, you thought it was dead. I'm still manipulating stuff from behind the scenes.
Dude, I thought the whole point of the end of this, I feel like the end of this movie was setting up was that Kylo and Rey were banding together to take care of Snoke as the big bad. And then because of how they both reacted to the situation, Kylo was like, fine, then I'm burning everything to the ground.
Yeah.
I thought then that was supposed to be like Kylo's, I've grown up, I am now Darth Vader.
I think we've said this many times. Anything would have been better than what we got with the Rise of Skywalker.
Yeah, true.
So
the Jar Jar Binks story would have been better than
every option was better.
Rise of Skywalker.
So I'm trying to say that, like, I did feel the feelings that a lot of people who hate The Last Jedi felt like, and then also...
It's weird and different and new.
Well, not... Like, I was a little bit let down, I will say. Like, my first impression when I left the theater, it was a little bit like, not sure...
Yeah. Where's the Star Wars?
Yeah, well, it was... So, one of the things was also that I've heard about is Luke force projecting himself on the planet, not actually being there. Because even I was a little bit like... I was like, oh my gosh, like, Luke was blasted by all those things and he survived? How? Like, this is the crazy Force stuff that I want to see. Mm-hmm. But he wasn't there.
Yeah.
So I was
I think he should have been. I think he should have been.
Yeah. So I was like,
But I'm going to say the Disney executives didn't allow it.
Yeah. So
there's no reason he shouldn't have. Same with Leia. Like, at that point, Carrie Fisher was dead, so they shouldn't have been dragging it on further.
Yeah. Yeah. Agreed.
Like, they had her send off, and then they just went, so, just kidding.
Yeah.
Which I think is dumb.
Yeah.
That's not my massive problem, though. These are just small
Was it the Carrie Fisher doing the Superman back into the ship?
No, but that one also should be. That one also should be.
But so yeah. I mean, I felt a lot of the same feelings, but it was one of those things that, unlike the first like episodes 1, 2, and 3, that when I look back in retrospect, I was like, this movie was actually really good, and I actually love it so much more than any of. Yeah, I said love, not just like. I loved it more than the last. Episode 7 and 9 for sure. What JJ did. I mean, I rewatched The Force Awakens literally yesterday, I think.
Yeah. It was okay.
Yeah, it's okay.
I remember liking it because it was fun and different, and it was not actually that different. It was just episode 6.
Yeah,
with some different changes that were good changes.
I mean, Finn, being a start.
I like Rey as protagonist. I know nobody else likes her because she's a Mary Sue, but like. She didn't have to be. She didn't have to be. She didn't have to be a Mary Sue.
Right, I liked it.
The great thing about The Last Jedi was that it was setting up a nobody special.
Yeah.
Everybody can be a hero. Nobody special. Which hello Disney, whoever on the marketing team didn't notice that was the best marketing choice that they could have done for the entire franchise.
Yeah.
Awful choice,
dude.
Let every kid be like, oh, I could be a Jedi.
Dude.
That's what every kid wants. You can't just be like, no, you can't actually, because midichlorians are some space magic stuff.
Can we talk about... So here's the thing that Ryan did that JJ did not. He took what JJ gave him and worked with it.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So
he said, everybody can be a Jedi. Nobody special.
Dude.
Rey doesn't have a history that makes her special. She's just there.
Yes. Dude, one of the best lines...
Everybody can be a hero.
Yeah, and look, I'm very much like a go with the flow guy and just in general life. And so you can tell by the way I dress, it's always very comfortable. And you can tell by sometimes our dialogue that I don't really plan the things that I say. But I took notes this time because
you did,
this is
which
how
is
strong
crazy.
I feel. I didn't get very many, but I got some.
That's more than I see ever. So.
Yeah, that you've ever seen. So one of the lines that I wrote down here is something from Kylo talking to Rey.
Yeah.
About her parents.
Yeah.
He says, let the past die. Kill it if you have to. And I was just like...
And he did that.
And that's
he did that for himself.
Freaking line. Yes.
Okay,
He's
hold
speaking
on.
from experience. He's telling her, your parents and your past doesn't even matter, dude. What you do from here out is what's important.
Yeah.
That's true. That's relatable. That's something you can take into real life from the movie. And you can take that and make that part of your... You know what? I'm not going to let my past define me. I'm going to make today what it needs to be.
Yeah. We made it obvious. Jarvis recommends the movie. You should go watch it. I'm also going to say, just so that we can get to the meat and potatoes of this, go watch the movie. I think that I honestly I don't think it's the best movie ever made. I don't know if it's the best Star Wars movie ever made. I will say though, what I feel like the direction it was trying to take would have been awesome if it got to do it. Mm-hmm. But so that's where I'm at, and so
the potential of the things that Ryan was setting up
was awesome.
It was. I don't want to sound too crazy, but the sky's the limit. He was setting up so much cool stuff that I just honestly, Ryan Johnson, if we ever get to a point where we can start inviting like Hollywood directors and actors to come on the podcast, Ryan Johnson, I'd love to hear what your episode 9 would have been, because the thought of it just excites me in a way that it's not appropriate to say on the internet in this podcast. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I would love to hear and pick your brain about what your thought and your vision for it would have been, because we see what you're trying to set up, and we were so just I'm speaking for the both of us because I know this is true for you. We were captured by what potential you were trying to set up for just the world, for the universe of Star Wars and the characters, and just the story and the message that you were trying to get to us as the viewers, as Star Wars fans. And we see that in your writing, dude, Kylo, let the past die. Kill it if you have to. If you do not be passive about what's holding you back. Get rid of it. Kill it if you have to. Be active about dismantling the barriers and the things that are holding you back from success. That is a great message. That is a great story. And that's what Kylo was trying to do, and that's what Rey needed to do. She was so hung up. Excuse me, she was so hung up about her parents.
Yeah. Turned out her parents were Palpatines.
Dumb. So dumb. Dumb.
All right, get us into the story, because I know I think your notes will be a lot better for
we get really deep into it. I think one of the things that, if I remember correctly, so we're with Luke and Rey.
Luke says, "Go away."
Yeah, he says, "Go away." He throws the lightsaber. So many people were so upset about that. They're like, "Oh my gosh, Luke would never." And even Mark Hamill was like, Mark Hamill was like, "Yeah, this is not in character for him." I think, sorry, Mark Hamill, I love you, dude. You are the best Joker. As a voice actor.
You're a great actor in general.
Great actor. You're a beautiful, wonderful person.
I also think that the character growth for Luke makes sense to lead him to being like, I don't think there's anything that the Jedi have done that have been good.
Yeah, and you know what? And here's the thing. A lot of people are mad at The Last Jedi for portraying Luke this way, and I'm just like, bro, JJ's the one who set that up.
His dad was the ultimate villain who ended up saving him at the end of everything.
Yeah.
He was trained by a bunch of dudes who were like, yeah, genocide's fine. He trained a bunch of kids on how to fight a bunch of kids that ended up dying in a war that he trained them to fight in. One of them ended up being like the successor to his dad.
Yeah. Which was also his nephew.
Like, there's a bunch of weird, like, moral things happening here that could mess with somebody's head over time.
And here's the thing, like, it all logically makes sense, and so many people that I've seen on Reddit, which you don't usually go there for, the best takes anyways, but...
Go there for people's honest opinions, that's for sure.
Yeah. But saying that, like, oh, yeah, that doesn't make any sense, I'm like, as someone who grew up very conservative Christian, I'm like, you realize... I had this conversation with someone already. I said, you have to realize that the Jedi, like, what's his name? Golly, I hate that this happens. My brain just gets turned off.
Go ahead, describe him. We'll all play together. Play in the comments. Who are we trying to guess?
The guy who created Star Wars.
It's George Lucas.
George Lucas. So George Lucas says that he drew inspiration from world religions for the Jedi.
Yeah.
Like, he literally drew... I mean, the fact that they have to stay celibate, I mean, that's in some religions, and
they took the Catholic, may the Lord bless you and you as well. It's the may the force be with you.
Yeah, and so I'm like, look, as someone who grew up being taught very, I would say, untruthful things about the Bible, I would say that, like, when you start to get the truth and you see the people who are zealots in your community that are getting it wrong, it's very disillusioning, and you're very, like, taken back, like, dude, I do not want to be associated with these people.
Yeah.
And it's very much like and I think that's the point that he came to, is he realized, like, I've been taught and trained in this religion.
Yeah.
For a whole
that means well.
That means
for sure
well.
Means well.
And on the surface is very good, like any, like even Scientology and some of the crazy ones,
they mean
like,
well.
Yeah, they mean well. Oh man, they just want to help people, and we all agree that those are good things. But
just to be clear, Scientology is not great.
Yeah,
don't be a part of that.
Yeah, don't be a part of that.
Have some things that would help you, but it's not worth the trade-off of, like,
it's
your individuality.
The things they say, like most religions, even the one that I came from, the things they say are good. The things they do are not good.
It's when
they do things.
It's teaching you about life, and the things that you can do to become the best person for yourself is great. The, like, stripping yourself of your individuality and turning you into a cog in a machine. That's the bad part.
Yeah, and saying you need to do...
And then telling you that other people who disagree with the fact that you're a cog in the machine are all bad and should probably die is also not great.
Yeah.
And that's the thing with the Jedis. Is the Jedis are like, you have to be good or you die.
Yeah. Buy lightsaber, and
which is really cool.
Or if you're a Sith, buy force choke, which
is also really cool.
Some people might be into that kind of thing.
And the whole point of Star Wars, spoilers for what my big gripe with this movie is, the whole point of Star Wars, from my understanding, is that it's not about the fight between good and bad. It's about the balance of the two.
Right.
And so all of the Jedi are cog in the machine. All of the Sith are fighting against the cogs in the machine.
And the Jedi got it wrong about understanding what balance means.
Right. They thought that balance was they wipe everything out so that they can have their hand on it.
But the balance is supposed to be in themselves as an individual.
Right.
And so talking about like, hey, this original, I was like, it makes sense that after living a full life devoted to the Jedi ways, after seeing it fail so many times with his dad, with his students, with his nephew, you're going to tell me that it's unbelievable that he would want to isolate himself and give up on the religion and just say, I don't want to have anything to do with it. That makes perfect sense to me.
Yeah.
It makes perfect sense that he's like, the Jedi cause more harm than good.
Yeah.
And here are the facts that prove that. Yes. It makes sense. And the fact that Luke here's I think what the problem that people don't like about The Last Jedi is that Ryan was trying to make it more realistic.
Yeah.
More grounded in reality.
Less big culty.
Yeah, and less big like thing. The hero, like Superman. Oh, he just has no faults and he can't be. And like, hey, our protagonist, the character that we love, who was the good guy that we saw, that we grew up with,
he's not going to save us this time.
But he can struggle, and he is. And he's struggling because of families. He's struggling because he lost friends. He's struggling because everything that he believed in hasn't proven itself to be what he was told that it was. Mm-hmm. And that he believed that it was. And so he's having to rectify what he believed with the reality of what he's seen and experienced, and sometimes those things don't add up. Right? And so, first off, it makes total sense that he's done what he's done.
You also have he could have just been done because he went against his ways of trying to kill Ben.
Yeah, I mean, he has to live with his own guilt of, I
can't teach anybody how to do this because I don't live by it.
Yeah, because he's basically a hypocrite of it.
Yeah.
So, again.
Which is also like you could go that route. You could do that.
And it still makes logical sense.
Yeah.
So they're on this island, and he's just basically like, why are you here? He's talking to Ray, why are you here? And she's like, I've come to learn. And
she said, I'm going to solve this war, and I'm going to end it. And he's like, yeah, sure.
He's like, all right, young, naive person. Which, sometimes that's a good thing, but sometimes it's a bad thing. Like, it's one of those things where she means well as well, but she doesn't have the understanding that life is a lot harder than she expects it to be. She thinks she's going to train with Luke, and then she's just going to win the day and without losing people. And, like, lots of people die in this movie.
Yeah.
Tons of people. So...
A lot of people.
And so she's just basically there trying to convince Luke to train her and to come back and join the fight, and he's staunchly against it, which makes logical sense. There's no reason to question that. So, Last Jedi haters, like, I'm telling you, you're wrong. And over time, as he sees Ray is one, he still gets scared because he does see the potential in Rey. He sees like how strong of a connection she has the Force naturally, which is strange. He's like, oh my gosh, like this. But like as he does start to be like, okay, you know what? Maybe I can show her a few things.
Drink some blue milk.
Yeah, and that was some
green milk too.
The little porgs were super cute.
Porgs are great.
We love porgs. And
he's got a little library to himself. It's very cute.
Yeah, a lot of
very cottage core for Luke Skywalker.
Yeah, and and so he does start to okay, you know what? Let me show you a few things. But some of the things that scare him is that he also sees that she's
struggling with something,
right? And she also doesn't. One of the things is when she starts to think about her family, and as she's thinking about the Force and feeling it, she goes to that pit where she goes and sees like, oh, she's trying to figure out her family, and it doesn't really show her anything, but he gets angry and says, you just went to the dark side so quickly, like why would you do that? Why would you let that in? And it's again one of those things that he doesn't understand.
Yeah.
That it's not you can't just say no to the dark side. You have to understand it.
Yeah.
And accept it as a reality of your life.
It's a very Kingdom Hearts moment of Rian Johnson.
Yes.
To accept some of the darkness so that you can use it to your advantage.
And you can find balance, which, to be honest with you, maybe...
Also a Disney franchise.
Yeah, and I think that, skipping ahead a little bit, I think Yoda finally understood that too, maybe even after he was gone.
Yeah, well, I think Yoda always understood that because he was never the type to be like, oh, that's bad. That's just 100% bad. Don't do that. He's always like, I mean, like, yeah, if it works.
I mean, he was kind of against training Anakin.
Yeah.
So I felt that was... but what I'm saying is I think that he even grew after he kind of left the physical realm. Because later, again, skipping ahead, he brings down Force Lightning, which is a Sith ability.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Which is super cool.
It's very cool. So why wouldn't you want that? But anyways, and then, we just get to a point where he sees Rey training. He also freaks out again because she is connected through the Force with Kylo. And there's that big moment where we find out later Snoke is connecting them, but she touches Kylo and it's like they're sitting across each other. And Luke busts open the door and is just like, no! And he just blows the whole freaking stone hut or whatever it is just to pieces with the Force, which is pretty cool. And he's just getting flashbacks to, Kylo and how he failed him, and there's a lot of fear in him now. He's scared. He's scared of making those the same mistakes again. So I don't know. I think you should jump in. I've talked for a little bit.
I think you hit like the story beats, I think, pretty well. Is that the whole thing's... I mean, there's a couple of storylines going on here. You got Rey and Luke and the training going on there, and you got the starship like Mexican standoff going on, which is also really neat.
Well, again, it's because it's realistic and it's not idealized, and this why people like it because
like the best part of the movie though.
I wrote this down.
It's so unnecessary for the movie. Like the movie doesn't need to have it, but it has the highest stakes of any part of this trilogy,
right?
At all, and it's so fun.
And that's something that a lot of movie makers do not. They're not very good at making stakes. Because like you look at the Marvel movie, like some of the Marvel movies, I'm like Age of Ultron. Were we ever really worried that Ultron was going to win? No, not really. Only until we saw Thanos like literally beat up the Hulk, literally just freaking dominate everybody,
snap half of the world away.
Yeah,
half the universe.
Yeah, he literally won. Then we were like, "Oh, this guy's a problem."
Yeah, and you're like, "Oh yeah, no, this is bad."
He actually felt because people died. Like people were gone. So like the fact that he made it realistic. Here's what I wrote down because this is they're just they got him and they're losing fuel and everybody's okay. Losing fuel and not having fuel is realistic. And the thing I wrote down here is it's like having a movie where your character, typically what happens is there's lots of gunfights, nobody ever reloads because they never run out of bullets. Mm-hmm. So actually showing a person reload in the movie is like, oh, that's more realistic because we know that the gun only carries a certain amount of bullets, but we never see it. Yeah. So now we're seeing, oh, guess what? These people have to deal with fuel. They have to deal with something realistic. And then the other plot line that a lot of people hate is
the reality of war plot line.
Yeah.
Where the rich people profit off of both sides.
Yes. Finn and Rose, right?
Yeah.
They go to...
they go rob a casino planet.
And here's the thing. People were just like...
It's the heist part of the movie.
Yeah. They were just like, well, their whole thing was a failure and it wasn't worth anything. And it was dumb because they didn't succeed.
And it was also the big anybody could be a hero part of the movie.
Yeah. And more than that, I will say, my biggest argument for that is it finally gave Finn his own reason to fight against...
Rather than just being like, I don't like it here.
Dude, because rewatching The Force Awakens, he was just trying to leave. He's like, dude, I'm trying to get as far away from...
Fighting.
Yeah, from the First Order as possible. Like, they're the worst. They're going to win.
No, he was like, oh, this is like bad.
Yeah, and that was his first introduction in... The Last Jedi. Mm-hmm. Was he was literally trying to go to an escape pod, and it was a little funny moment because Rose is like, "Oh yeah, I had to tase a few people trying to leave, and oh my gosh, I can't believe people would do that." And he's literally trying to escape, and he's like, "Whoops!" And she catches on, and knocks him out, and stuff like that. So because of that moment where he really got to see the real life consequences and actions of the people who, the rich elite, crazy rich aliens, if you will.
Nice. Nice tie-in.
You like that?
Yeah.
Crazy rich aliens who are profiting from the war between the First Order and the Republic, or what was left of it. You know what I'm saying? And so he really sees the hurt and the pain and just the nasty side of what's going on that planet. The animals that are being abused, the kids, the slaves, and just how the rich people just don't have a care in the world.
Yeah.
And that is what motivated him, because in the Force Awakens and in the Rise of Skywalker, Finn has no character. He is only worried about being close to Rey, and he's a little puppy dog that you just yells Rey over and over and over. And there's nothing to him.
So his character growth is to separate him from Rey and have him do his own thing.
Well, yes, to be his own character.
Same with Poe.
To have his own motivations, to have his own thing. Yeah. Poe even, I mean, what was her name? Holdo.
Yeah.
He did not like her. Most people didn't. And even I remember watching him, just like, bro, just tell the guy the plan so he'll shut up and he can get on board. You know what I'm saying? Like, what reason is there to hide that from him? Mm-hmm. He's a hothead, you know that. And I also am just the kind of person that's like, most issues that humans have with other humans can be, if we could find empathy and conversation, I think we could fix those things. Maybe that's in my idealistic world, but that's what I truly believe. So I always try to communicate. I sometimes over communicate to make sure there's no confusion. That's besides the point. But what I'm saying is that even Poe, he had to learn, because we see his thing in the beginning of the movie is we got a chance to knock out this dreadnought. Let's take out a dreadnought.
Yeah.
And what Leia has a conversation with him is like, again, don't give up what you want most for what you want in the moment. She's seeing big picture, long term. Mm-hmm. We need these resources. Poe said, let me just you know how big of a deal it is to knock out a dreadnought? Apparently it wasn't, because there was freaking a million of them in the Rise of Skywalker. Like, yeah. So not as big a deal as he thought. He thought it was a big deal, and it wasn't, because there's a million of them.
Thanks, JJ.
Yeah, thanks for that, JJ Abrams. So he sends all the bombers and they lost so many fighters, they lost so many people, mm-hmm. so many resources. Not a single one of those bomb carriers made it. Yeah. And only one of them was able to do the damage to knock it out. I'm sure they did, but again, Leia asked at what cost?
And, apparently at what cost is in the Rise of Skywalker, that Rey just gets them all out in one big fell swoop anyway.
Yeah, so no stakes. Yeah. Where are the stakes? Yeah. I want my steak. I want it medium well.
We're getting Salisbury right now is what's happening.
Yeah, we're getting Salisbury steak when we were promised ribeye. Yeah. But what was that? I think that that's a callback to.
Yeah, we did some other food.
We talked about steaks.
One of the first ones.
That was one of my favorite episodes. Us making the. It might have been the Rise of Skywalker. We talking there's no steaks, but. Like it posed.
Each one wrapped itself into like a nice little bow, and then we got a really cool finale where Rey and Kylo are, like, basically look at each other and they're like, "Hey, we gotta take this big guy down. This is not a good idea."
Yeah, sorry, I'm just so caught up in the.
It's okay.
We're not making it through the movie.
I think well, I mean, it's a non-linear movie. Yeah, they have their own sections and they swap back and forth.
And that, you people hate The Last Jedi. This is what character development looks like. It's sometimes slow, sometimes boring.
Yeah, but it's satisfying when it's paid off.
Which could have been done in the third movie if JJ had any kind of sense and was like, I'm going to work with what he gave me and try to capitalize off the things he was setting up, but he didn't. So JJ is to blame, not Rian Johnson, for how bad the Rise of Skywalker was. Yeah. But Poe is learning to be a leader because he's a natural leader. But he's learning, hey, you can't just be so hasty. You're a hothead. You're a great leader, and you can rally the troops, but you also need to realize that truth. Don't give up what you want most for what you want in a moment. We want to win this war. That means not giving up all of our resources for one dreadnought.
Yeah.
And so that's his character arc. And so, again, these things, just because they don't pay off, it was a failure? Well, that's life. How many times do we go down a path and it doesn't work out and we're just like, well, shoot, all you can do is take what you learn from it.
Yeah. It's actually none of their stuff paid off.
Yeah, and so exactly, it's so realistic and it's tough, and they constantly are having to pivot because things are constantly not working out.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
All for them to take down Snoke at the end of this movie, and for them to be like, for Kylo to reach out to Rey and be like, please, we could actually like do something. Yeah. We could actually change everything together, and she went, no.
Yeah, which
is a great segue into my biggest gripe with this movie.
Yeah, I was gonna say I've been talking for way too long, bro. Please.
The biggest gripe that I have with this movie is that it set up what I think would have been the coolest thing thematically for Star Wars ever, which is the balance. Right?
Yeah.
We got the first movie of the series, which was the dark side, basically.
Yeah.
The second movie, which is the light side, and I think that Kylo and Rey had enough like interaction between each other during that entire movie where they were
not chemistry, interaction.
Yeah, interaction where they were kind of swaying each other to the other side. And I think that like after killing Snoke, Kylo reaching out and being like, "Hey,
let's make something."
I think that we could like fix this.
Yeah.
And her actually like going along with it would have been really neat. Because then it wouldn't have been another like, oh, well, the rebellion's going against the First Order and everything's fighting. It's like that what we saw in that movie was like the devastating reality of a war.
Yeah.
And they both saw it from all sides. And it would have led to a really cool third movie where it's like, how do we get both sides to stop?
Like I said, I will say this forever. Anything would have been better than would have been better than what we got.
And the thing that I think would have been the coolest thing is get rid of Rey's whatever Luke's hand-me-down lightsaber, get rid of Kylo's little cross lightsaber, give them both white lightsabers.
Yeah.
For the balance.
Yes.
Rip out those kyber crystals, toss them aside.
Yeah.
And just fight for not what's right and what's wrong, but for what seems just.
Yeah. You know what? You know what that reminds me of that I want to say is that one of my favorite animes and mangas is Hunter x Hunter.
Okay.
Have you seen...
This could have gone somewhere much worse.
Have you seen Hunter x Hunter?
I have not. I read some of it.
Okay.
But not
So
enough.
one of my favorite things about this is it's not like Dragon Ball Z. Oh, bad guy bad, good guy good. Like, one of the things I like about Hunter x Hunter is that the bad guys, quote unquote... It's more realistic in the sense of like the bad guy isn't always your bad guy. Sometimes they're things align with you, and you guys end up working together. And it's just like because that's real life. Like, I don't know many people.
That happened in Naruto too.
Yeah, I don't
bring Naruto into this episode too.
Yeah, so it's like it's more realistic in the sense of like, okay, Kylo and Rey are not necessarily like always going to be enemies. Like we saw them fight together.
I don't think they ever were enemies.
We liked it. Yeah, again, exactly. So it's kind of like one of those things where
they're not lovers. That's for sure.
That's for darn
they're
sure.
Definitely not lovers, but they're not enemies.
That was like one of the worst things he ever did. I cannot forgive him for that.
I think I said it during the other episode, but that was because JJ wanted the same like Luke and Leia kiss moment.
And that's so dumb. It was definitely.
You shouldn't want that.
No,
nobody should want that.
Yeah, if you watch
let the cousins kiss.
Yeah, if you liked that and you were one of the people in theaters that cheered when they kissed, you're not the kind of person I want to be friends
I heard no cheers. All I heard was what?
My theater actually cheers, and I was dumb. I was dumbfounded.
Yeah,
I was like, dude.
I think I would have started laughing really loudly.
Yeah, and my current ex-wife, but she was there at the time. She was like, immediately
this?
Like, no, what's
happening?
Yeah, she literally said no. They didn't earn that. That's not
even close.
Yeah. But I like that idea that you were saying where it's like, okay, he's kind of set up as a bad guy, but is he really? Like, no, they work together, and like, it's more complicated and realistic than, oh, good guy good, bad guy bad. You know what I'm saying?
And how do you end a war that refuses to end?
Yeah. Well, in ancient times, they would just have the leaders of opposite nations marry each other.
Oh no, JJ was right.
No. They don't even get married.
You gotta let them kiss.
Yeah.
No.
And I think that there was also, I mean, we talk about Star Wars fans, like some of you guys are cool, some of you guys are racist, and and some of you guys were upset.
We've nailed every fan base to ever exist.
Yeah, so some people were very upset that there might have been some kind of hint that Rey might be with a black guy, even though she's white. I think
there was enough chemistry in it with any of the characters.
No, and which is why I love that Rose was there. She could have been that for him.
Yeah, that's true.
But even the bad racist fans were like, no, we don't like Asians either, and we don't like Rose, and don't make her be a part of the movie. And she got so bullied for
How
that.
dare the galaxy have more than just aliens and white people?
Yeah, I know, because a lot of people were mad at John Boyega being in it. I remember the
I do remember that too.
Yeah, and I'm like, come on, guys. Like, really? When he puts on the helmet, he's white.
Space. They're in space.
Isn't that enough
There's
for you?
aliens.
Yeah.
Ashoka has weird tendrils.
I mean, I kind of like her tendrils, but...
yeah, but you also...
I mean,
you also
not the teenage
you
version
also
of
don't
Ahsoka, but I mean
weird...
from Ahsoka the series where she's Rosario Dawson, like... you know what I mean? But anyways...
Let's dig a deeper hole into that.
No, we won't do that. We're not going to do that because if this gets a lot of traction, I don't want people to clip me saying weird stuff.
You hear that, guys? Clip it.
No,
clip him
that.
Saying stuff. He likes it when he clips saying stuff.
Yeah, so back to the thing. Poor Rose, and like, so like, and this is how you notice, because Rise of Skywalker was just to placate and to give the fans what they wanted, and so they gave him an appropriate black person to also be romantic with. Another
I remember that.
So that's also BS. Because races shouldn't mix, according to JJ.
Of course, yeah.
Star Wars fans.
You got to keep the lineage pure.
Oh God! Oh my gosh!
You didn't like that one
so much.
You didn't like that one
so much. So which again? So JJ racist, Ryan Johnson not, because he was trying to set that up. I mean, some people still didn't like Rose and Finn, which whatever. Like it doesn't have to pay off. Like people like people and they don't like them back. Like, that's also realistic.
JJ put 2 women kissing in the last movie, so
yeah, he did. He did. Sorry, I blanked out most of that movie.
Yeah, you should have.
But he just literally just undoes everything good that Ryan did. So
yeah.
But anyways,
that's so yeah. My biggest gripe is that it didn't. It tied itself up into a nice little bow, and then I think what happened is that Ryan was trying to go that direction, where it's like they work together because that's interesting and new.
Yeah.
And then the executive said, they can kill Snoke together. They can't do anything else.
Yeah.
And I was like, I'll chop off my balls at this point, I guess.
Yeah, they castrated him.
It would have set up so much like interesting stuff, and then would have put the whole Star Wars IP into a nice little bow.
Can we talk about that? There was something in my notes I want to mention as well, but can we just talk about the fight scene in the throne room? Like that is one of the coolest, in my opinion, one of the coolest things in Star Wars history.
I do also remember sitting there and being like, damn, this is neat.
Yeah, dude.
I could watch this for another 20 minutes.
Almost standing up and cheering when she threw him the lightsaber and he just turned it on and turned it off right into his...
So cool.
Yes.
So
freaking cool, man. Just cool. It just
Why are you laughing at us?
What
are you laughing at us about?
Yeah, exactly.
Said we're just boys.
That pure male, yes. Oh yeah. You know when you see a good kung fu movie and they're fighting, you know what I mean? Like it just has that strong.
She laughs at me because I have an affinity for stories where the main character just punches the bad guy when he's being a douchebag.
Yeah.
And I just think one satisfying punch to the face is all you really need.
Well, speaking of that, you think about what immediately came to mind was when in One Piece where Luffy punched that celestial dragon after he shot the octopus guy. You don't know.
I'm not that far into One Piece.
Oh my gosh, my bad. But Luffy gives one of the most satisfying punches to the face.
I just finished Skypiea.
Okay, you're way behind, bro.
Yeah, man. There's like a bajillion episodes. What am I supposed to do?
Fair enough. But there's not a bajillion episodes of Star Wars because JJ literally killed it with the Rise of Skywalker.
Yeah, and you know what? It might be better in that case. It might be better for that. At this point, I mean,
there's new stuff coming out. I think right now the Acolyte just dropped, and I think that has.
Oh, that's good.
The Mandalorian was freaking great.
I never finished the Mandalorian, but the episodes I did watch, I thought were very fun.
Good. Always so good.
Yeah,
I love the Mandalorian. So Star Wars is still doing stuff, but it's not doing stuff with
like Galaxy's
the main
Edge
characters because they turned it into a family soap opera, and it's just like let other people not be involved with the family drama and let it just be about people who are also just force sensitive, which is what Ryan was trying to do.
Yeah, I think Ryan was trying to end the space epic that was unnecessary fighting at that point.
Yeah,
because all that JJ did was say, "Hey, after they finished like fighting this war, they just started another one."
Yeah, dude, can I talk real quick about something I read in my notes? Is that okay?
Yeah.
Okay. So one of the things
that was to his notes, not to. Yeah, it's fine.
Yeah,
the camera did not read that well.
Yeah. So one of the things I wrote down that I want to talk about, one of my favorite moments, dude, the original puppet Yoda came back.
Yeah.
And not only that,
I remember that was a funky thing to see.
Dude, but it was so good. But in that moment, so Luke in his frustration is like, I'm gonna burn it all down. I'm tired of it. and then he's just like, oh no, but it's Jedi stuff and it's kind of important. And he's just like wavering. And then Yoda shows up and just is like, who cares? Burn it, bro. And he just freaking force lightnings the tree and it catches on fire.
Which goes to your point of like, it's Luke's new character. He's learning to get over like the culty lineage of everything and it being so like high important and super correct.
Because that's the hard part of being raised in a religion.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying, is that you still have a strong pull towards it, even though you know that there's a lot of things that are not correct about it.
And we've all known Yoda was the woke one the entire time. It was like, hey man, religion's religion.
Yeah, it's like let's focus on the things.
There's
that are
some
important.
good stuff here, but like don't let it consume you entirely.
Yeah, like let's focus on the stuff that's important, and these books and this tree is not important
at all.
And so, and then I like the joke. He's like, he was like, yeah, but the Jedi text. And he's like, oh, you've read them, have you?
Right? Yeah,
they're real page turners,
you
aren't they?
You read them all, huh?
But one of the things that Yoda says is that failure is the greatest teacher. And what I wrote down here is meaning we shouldn't run from our past as Luke did, because he didn't deal with it. He ran.
Yeah.
Okay. Again, logical. We discussed that's a logical move. Makes sense. Excuse me. But we should learn from it and move forward, not making the same mistakes again.
Hey, man, let the past die.
Exactly. Kill it if you have to. And
burn it down if you have to.
Yeah. And Yoda also said, he said, look, we lost Ben, but we cannot lose Rey.
Yep.
Like Yoda said it, and I was like, dude, that's so, to me, that was profound.
Yeah, don't do it twice.
Do not make the same
screw it up
mistakes.
twice.
Exactly. He said, look, we lost Ben, okay? That was bad. That was horrible. That was sad. We cannot afford to lose Rey.
Failure's only failure when you give up.
Yes. And so, again, such a deep, like, truth that we can grab hold on and that could take us into everyday life. Along with the sentiment that, hey, anybody can have the power to change their world, change their situation.
Like Chef Gusteau said in Ratatouille, anyone can cook. Mm-hmm. Anyone can be a Jedi.
Yeah, it's
even
all
a rat,
connected.
Probably.
And so,
can we have a rat Jedi? That'd be cool.
I'm sure there's somewhere in the galaxy where there's rat people that are anthropomorphic and
have little tiny lightsabers
and can wield. Yeah, well, they could be a little bigger. They could be, cat size or dog size.
Like the Narnia character, yes, correct.
Yeah. So that was just a moment to me. I don't know. I don't remember hearing a lot of hate around that, but that was one thing that in the moment when I watched it caught me off guard, but it was kind of a jerk of like, whoa, that's different, which is, I think...
About the Yoda puppet?
No, just him just being like, hey, dude, destroy it all. Like,
I thought that. I don't think I ever heard anybody think that was bad.
Yeah.
And I really feel like that fit to the rest of Luke's character, which is why I don't think he should have been a Force ghost. I think he should have just shown up.
Oh yeah,
Balls to the wall.
Yeah, we made that joke because you mentioned it. Why won't the Force ghosts fight if they can touch things?
Yeah, dude. What's the point?
Why won't they fight?
You tell me Yoda can't do that?
That was one of my favorite things.
You tell me Yoda can't do that?
Yeah, exactly. That was one of my favorite things. Why won't they fight? I was like, yeah, dude, true. Why won't they fight? Great question. So definitely should have just let Luke be there. Yeah.
And let him have his final moment.
Mm-hmm.
Let him stop Kylo, and Kylo get really frustrated by that.
Yeah.
And then he actually be dead, and Kylo be like, there I go, doing it again, killing my mentors, the only ones I have.
Here I go killing again.
Yeah. Which would really lead into Kylo's final moment with Rey at the end of the movie, to being like, no, I think we should probably do something about this, because this isn't working the way I thought it would.
Yeah. Yeah. You know what I thought? It just popped in my head. It was like another idea that I had. Would it be crazy if like Kylo and Rey switched places and she ended up on the dark side and Kylo was...
That was another thing that I thought about too. Is I think the way that it's either they, in the last movie when they work together, they switch places and they just take out either side entirely, or they go back and they're like double agents ish, trying to get their side to stop before having to take it down. Well, I mean, like you could imagine Rey coming back and being like, "Hey guys, I think we should just stop fighting."
Yeah.
And trying to get them all to stop, and when they don't, she's like, "No, guys, we really gotta get this stop happening."
Or I'll
like we can, you. Like the other side will stop if we stop. Yeah. While Kylo's on the other side going, "We're stopping right now," and having like what is it called, a mutiny happen with him before they both have to actually stop it themselves. I think that'd be neat.
Yeah, super neat. Better
than them kissing after killing her grandfather.
Oh my gosh, bro. I mean, so let me ask you this.
Force kiss.
What was there? Yeah.
That's what it was. He was dead. She kissed him, brought him back to life. It was a forced kiss.
A forced kiss. Ugh. And we rock. We're so funny. Oh, okay. I lost my partner, my co-host. I went too far on the cheesy side.
The dead speaks.
Yeah.
And Palpatine's back.
Oh my gosh, that whole movie's garbage. But let me ask you this. Was there a criticism of The Last Jedi that we have not talked about that you have a rebuttal to? Because I feel like it was about Luke in the beginning. It was about
it was about being slow.
Yeah, them not showing who Rey's parents were, Snoke dying, Finn.
I don't think Snoke dying. I feel like there were people who were upset about Snoke dying.
There were lots of people who were upset.
And I don't think that's that big of a deal.
Well, they were very...
Snoke wasn't that big of a deal in the first place.
Well, they were very upset. And they were like, "Oh, we never got to learn about what happened to him, and it's all
I don't think that there was
fault."
anything that happened to him. I think that what happened was JJ copy pasted episode 6.
Yeah.
Without any background for any of the characters, including Rey.
Yeah.
And said, "Let's make this and figure it out later."
Yeah.
Because that movie was interesting, but hollow.
Yeah, they literally had nothing written out.
And then Ryan said, "Let's round out these characters before we finish off the story."
Wow, what a crazy thing to do.
And then JJ came back and said, "Hey, not only am I going to undo everything you did, I'm going to undo it twice and then spit on you."
Yeah. Well, I felt like he spit on the freaking fans. Like, I don't know anybody who will say that the Rise of Skywalker is good. In fact, there's so much hate for The Last Jedi that I'm just like, how can you say that this is the worst movie? I literally said that, and I got downvoted so much.
Nice.
That I was like how can you say The Last Jedi is the worst Star Wars movie when literally The Rise of Skywalker exists? And I got downvoted to oblivion.
Yes, The Rise of Skywalker is awful. Objectively speaking.
Yeah, I think what happened is maybe a lot of people didn't watch it, which good on them. That they didn't have to experience.
And they're just like, I just didn't like that one.
But if they did, they're just in denial because they just want to hit on The Last Jedi and not say that The Rise of Skywalker was literally the worst Star Wars movie, maybe the worst movie ever made. Like that's how much I hate that movie. I might say it's the worst movie ever made.
That's pretty harsh.
That is pretty harsh.
Leave your opinions about it in the comments after you click the subscribe button and maybe share it with your family who likes Star Wars.
Yeah, so...
If you like The Last Jedi, you tell us why.
Yes, please.
If you don't like it, tell us why. And if you like The Rise of Skywalker, seek help.
Exactly.
Find a therapist near you.
So the conclusion is this: The Last Jedi is the best of the last trilogy.
Yeah,
by far.
Yeah, no competition. No competition.
Yeah,
you either get something hollow or something messy, or something that like actually cared about the characters.
I mean,
it's no competition.
I cannot. I don't know if my frustration is coming through, but I cannot express to you how disrespected and upset I am that the Rise of Skywalker exists, that it's a real thing. As much as when I walked out of the theaters from Everything Everywhere All at Once, just like in unbelief that this movie exists because it's so new and original, and how much I loved it, I was like, this is crazy. Like, I literally had to pinch myself and be like, did I just see what I saw? I was like, this is crazy. It's so good. That level of excitement and love for that movie is literally mirrored in the opposite direction by the Rise of Skywalker.
Yeah, Jarvis's scale for movies is quite literally Everything Everywhere All at Once, Rise of Skywalker, and everything in between.
Yeah. So, but yeah, like I said, so my conclusion, I think your conclusion as well, if I may, is that the Last Jedi is a great movie, is a good movie that has all the pieces needed. It's a little bit slower, it's more realistic, and it was put together in such a way that what was being set up was going to be amazing, I think. And that JJ just took a big old dookie on the franchise. I'll never forgive him for it.
Yeah, the real villain of this trilogy was actually J.J. Abrams the whole time.
I mean, and maybe
the dead speaks,
and maybe Disney, because they just didn't plan anything.
Disney didn't know what to do.
They went at it haphazardly.
Yeah, they took the first big name bid on it, I think is what happened.
Yeah,
and they said, yeah, that works.
So I blame Disney and I blame JJ, big time for sure.
They missed out on massive marketing opportunities at the very least.
The amount of money they lost because of JJ and the Rise of Skywalker. I mean, I know most people who watch this are going to say that it's The Last Jedi, but you're not going to, I know you're not going to put in the comments the objective reasons why the Last Jedi is bad, because we have a rebuttal for all of those.
Well, and guess what? If you don't like it because you just don't like it, cool.
Yeah, leave it at that.
That's fine.
Yeah.
If it's a taste thing, if you just don't like it because you don't like it, that's cool. My wife likes Oron High School Host Club. I don't.
That's great.
I like superhero boys with superpowers that punch people really hard.
Yeah. Like Luffy will when you get to it.
Probably, yeah. I imagine Luffy does punch a few people pretty hard.
Yeah. So I think that's the episode. Yeah. Do you also concur with that? Do you have anything else you want to say? Episode? Do you have anything you want to add, like regarding The Last Jedi and how it's actually a good movie?
To all my fans out there, adoring and non, and everywhere in between, what color is your lightsaber?
I have a blue one at home. That was in one of the episodes. That was in the...
I had a purple one.
Yeah.
I gave it away.
Oh, purple's great. Someone gave me
if I could choose one, though, I would have a white lightsaber. That's my OC. That's my Star Wars OC.
Dude, when I was a kid, purple was my favorite. I think I might have a purple because I just think it's so cool.
Yeah, I agree.
Purple is such a great color.
Samuel L. Jackson agrees with you.
Dude. Samuel L. Jackson did phenomenal in The Hateful Eight, which I watched recently. I love Sam Jackson.
Tell us what movie we should watch in the comments and why it should be Disney's Planes.
But do that. But do that after you like and subscribe.
Yeah, and then tell Jarvis that we should watch Planes next.
Yeah. I don't want to watch Planes. Yeah, I don't either. But if you request it,
maybe. Yeah. If you say I really want y'all to watch Disney's Planes, it's gonna force our hands. We're gonna have to do it.
Yeah. Please don't. I already had to watch the Emoji Movie.
I don't know if Planes might be good. I haven't heard that it is.
That's not a risk. That's not a risk I want to take. I won't be able to get that time back. So, guys, this has been Full Time Movie Fans. We appreciate you guys hanging out with us. I know this is a very polarizing topic, especially in the Star Wars fan community, because everybody just hates The Last Jedi. There's a few of us out there. I've upvoted a few posts from other people that like The Last Jedi, trying to offset the massive downvotes. But to no avail.
Yeah, hot take. My last hot take is whatever you like, you're wrong.
You heard it here. Get better at have better taste.
Everyone's entitled to their opinions, even when they're wrong.
Yeah, especially when it comes to the Star Wars and the Last Jedi, and also African Americans being in the movie, or African people, because he's not African American. He's from Great Britain.
You should probably just outro until before you get. Yeah.
Hey, thanks for hanging out. As always, we're full-time movie fans. Hope you had a good time, and we hope your day is everything you dreamed to be and more. Bye.
Hey, you look good over there.
Look real good.
Have you thought about sharing your kindness with others?
Share the love.
Maybe like the video. Click on that subscribe button. And show your friends.
Yeah, just touch it ever so lightly, that like button. Move over to the subscribe button. Maybe tap your keyboard just a little bit. Leave a comment. Bye.
That's it.